iPhone 5 is off to a tremendous start. This is the most iPhones ever sold in the opening weekend and the most phones ever sold in an opening weekend. Together with the rest of the new iPod lineup, we've already sold over 3 million units. We have 200 million devices running iOS 6. This is phenomenal. This is the fastest upgrade rate of any software in history that we're aware of. Customers have sent 300 billion messages. And they're currently sending them at 28,000 per second. Maybe even more right now. We're announcing a new version of iBooks. And this contains a really cool new reading option with continuous scrolling. Notice the crisp, beautiful fonts that are available in iOS 6 and Chinese. Look at the beautiful vertical print. For the year ending in June, the Mac outgrew the PC market by about 7 times. The Mac has been outgrowing the PC market for the last 6 years straight. #1 desktop in the US and the #1 notebook in the US. This is absolutely incredible.
And I'm really excited to show you for the first time the brand new 13-inch MacBook Pro. Just 0.75 inches thin. You can see there's a huge difference. It's 20% thinner, a full 1/5 thinner. Best of all, it has a Retina display. That is a display where the pixels are so small that at a normal working distance, your eye can't discern them. It's an amazing 2,560 by 1,600. That is 4 times the number of pixels of the previous generation. That makes it the world's second highest resolution notebook computer. It starts with a 2.5 gigahertz dual-core i5 for just $1699. It's Energy Star 5.2, EPEAT Gold, arsenic-free display glass. The high-grade aluminum and glass are highly recyclable. And here's our notebook lineup. We have MacBook Air. For those who still want it, we keep the old generation there, MacBook Pro, and the new MacBook Pros with their Retina display starting at $1699. Mac Mini. You knew there'd be something called Mini in this presentation, didn't you? And if you haven't looked at one lately, it's packed with a lot of great features. What's inside? Dual or quad Intel Core i5 or i7 Ivy Bridge processors, Intel HD Graphics 4000 for just $599. And Mac Mini is still the world's most energy-efficient desktop. The iMac is the best all-in-one computer in the industry. As you heard, it's actually the #1 desktop model in the US. Through the years, relentlessly keep updating it with the latest technology to push it as far as the technology allows. We've had 7 generations of iMac, each one better than the last. The next generation of iMac. And here it is. Would you like to see one in person? Yeah. I hope so, because we have one right here. It is absolutely incredible, the most beautiful Mac we have ever made. If you want to get a look at how thin it is, let me turn it just a little bit. There's an entire computer in here. It's hard to believe there's even just a display in here. That edge is 5 millimeters thin. That is 80% thinner than the previous generation. And it extends the entire length. All the way down to this area at the bottom, we lovingly call this the chin. This is so thin, we wanted to do something even more incredible. The engineering team used a technology called friction stir welding. The actual molecules of the aluminum are merged together between the two components to make one piece that is super strong and nearly seamless. Let me bring back up the previous generation. Isn't it amazing how something new makes the previous thing instantly look old? It's incredible. They're both IPS panels for a beautiful viewing angle. There is a serious computer inside this thin design. Intel quad-core i5 or i7 Ivy Bridge processors, NVIDIA discrete Kepler graphics, a headphone port, SD card reader, 4 USB 3 ports. Well, with the iMac, as well as the Mac Mini we just discussed, we have a new third option for you to choose. It's called the Apple Fusion Drive. What's the Fusion Drive? Well, first, it's 128 gigabytes of flash storage. And added to that, your choice, either 1 or 3 terabyte hard drive. And in software, they're fused together into one logical volume. We do this so you can get much faster reads and writes than a hard drive can. Of course, the operating system entirely fits on that flash, so we keep it there for maximum system performance. In fact, all the software that comes pre-installed on your iMac automatically fits in flash. As you're using your computer, OS X's Fusion Drive is figuring out what you use the most and what will benefit from being on flash. So for example, if you don't use iMovie very often, but you use a lot of high-powered numbers spreadsheets, it might move those onto flash. Or perhaps you use Aperture, not iPhoto. Well, it'll move Aperture into flash and run it from there as well. All transparently from you. You just use it, it works. Common task in Aperture is to import photos. If you use a hard drive, you get a certain speed. And Flash is over 3.5 times faster at this task. So how does the Fusion Drive compare? Here's how it compares. You get near the performance of Flash with access to all of that storage without having to do anything else. And for those who still are stuck in the past, yes, you can get an optical drive. We offer a great super drive that plugs into USB. It's $12.99. For $17.99. And these start shipping. 5.2, EP Gold, and on and on.
We sold our 100th million iPad in just 2.5 years. This is unprecedented for a new product in a new category. We sold more iPads in the June quarter than any PC manufacturer sold of their entire PC lineup. iPad accounts for over 90% of the web traffic from tablets. Almost every company in the Fortune 500 is now testing or deploying iPad.
So just half a year ago, we introduced the 3rd generation iPad with its Retina display to talk about the 4th generation iPad, a new chip, the Apple A6X chip. We were already so far ahead of the competition, I can't even see them in the rearview mirror. It doubles the performance for CPU tasks. It also doubles the graphics performance. They were not close to us, and now we've doubled that again. We've also updated the Wi-Fi performance as well. It's up to twice as fast. We've updated the connector to our latest connector, the Lightning connector. Customers who want camera connections, we have Lightning to USB and Lightning to an SD card reader. For video out, there's Lightning to HDMI and Lightning to VGA, both black and white. And it starts with the same configuration as the last generation, 16 gigabytes, Wi-Fi for $4.99. So what else can we do to help customers find even more uses for iPad, to use it in places they never imagined, in manners they never have before? We can tell by your excitement you know what this is. This is iPad Mini. And now this just isn't a shrunken down iPad. It's an entirely new design. It's as thin as a pencil. It's as light as a pad of paper. We were going to say a book, but books are much heavier. So we came out with a pad of paper. The iPad 2 is 9.7 inches on the diagonal. iPad Mini, 7.9. So that's easy to remember, right? And the pixels are even easier to remember because they're exactly the same. All of the software created for iPad all works on the iPad Mini, unchanged. Theirs is made of plastic. It's thicker. In fact, the entire product, that Android product, is thicker and heavier than iPad Mini, even though it has a smaller display. The iPad Mini is actually over a third larger display area, 35%. That's a huge difference. The iPad Mini is about 50% larger for surfing the web, holding it in your portrait orientation. To remove all the noise around it, here's your web pages. The iPad Mini is 2/3 larger to surf the web, there is a gigantic difference in these products. There's an amazing set of technology that make this just a great iPad. First, there's an Apple A5 chip. It has a FaceTime HD front side camera, a 5-megapixel iSight camera, so you can take beautiful 5-megapixel photos or 1080p HD video. It has the same LTE capabilities that you see in our new 4th generation iPad. We have the faster Wi-Fi as well. We've built in that Lightning connector. The team has worked really hard to get you the same battery life. It is every inch an iPad.
From the very beginning, the iPad was designed to be very powerful, very capable.
Mercury-free display, BFR-free, PVC-free, and of course, highly recyclable. The Wi-Fi configuration will be priced at $329. A TV ad that we're going to run and introduce customers to it in a really simple and fun way. I'd love to run that for you now. Isn't that great?
We told you earlier this year that you would see some incredible innovation from Apple across the year. Innovation that only Apple could deliver. We think we've kept our promise, and I hope that you agree.